Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an extremely late start. I am, as ever and as always, your host, the Dead Runner. We're doing things a little bit out of order. Actually, I did this kind of like this way during the Warcraft as well, for a rather specific reason. That should be obvious when we get there. Hopefully it will be similarly obvious this time around. Hang on, it's wrongly sized. Hang on. Keeps doing this. I know, I understand why. It's just kind of irritating. There we go. So first, let's show you something that isn't in the game.
The Master has been gone for so very long. Preparations must be made.
Yeah, remember, this is actually when Suramar really got going. How many of you remember that Suramar was actually split into 2 patches? That's how huge Suramar was. And yeah, even though this is just a gameplay patch trailer, it's still a really good one. Much better than the old crap we used to see. You keep killing the cameraman in Legion. Could you quit doing that? I swear there was another thing. Hang on a sec. There it is. A little shorter.
The Master has been gone for so very long. I anticipate his return in every gust. It's maddening. Whatever is one to do to pass the time. I've gone and made a mess. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. Our unannounced visitors. Preparations must be made, for the Master will return to Karazhan soon.
I love how well animated Morose was there. Did you catch that? He even wiped his dagger off on his clothes after stabbing the guy. Real quick. Thank you. Let's see. Spartan. Always appreciate. Yes, we've seen all 3 vignettes at this point. And it's still awesome. So that's going towards Metroid Prime Hunters, RTS games, and Dead Space 1R. Excuse me. That's going towards Suikoden 4. Suikoden, Tier Chris, Lufia 2R. And actually, thank you for reminding me. I actually saw last night a donation come in via email, and I didn't actually have a chance to check it. I was a little busy. But it was from Savacom. There it is. And that is going towards Little Kitty, Big City, the PMD block, 5002. Okay.
You've arrived just in time.
Karazhan. It seems not all the protections I put in place have been defeated. The Legion isn't able to open portals inside or near the tower, at least not yet. They appear to be bringing reinforcements through the catacombs running beneath the pass. Disable them. Buy us the time we need to drive them out of Karazhan.
Be mindful of your duty.
Karazhan, or Karazhan, or Karazhan, or Karazhan, they've pronounced it a bunch of different ways. You know how A's are. Sits upon a confluence of ley lines. It's why this location was chosen for the tower in the first place. A fact that has not escaped the Legion's notice. If the demons are tapping the lines, they must need their energy for something particularly menacing. You're to cut off their access to the ley lines if we're to have a chance of retaking the tower.
It's good to have you on our side.
Everything the Legion touches is marred by fingerprints of their corruption. If I could study the traces of the magic they leave behind, perhaps I could discern their plans for Karazhan Zanazun. This vial is specially reinforced to contain fell magic. If you bring me essences of corrupted soil and water, I believe we'll be closer to unraveling their scheme.
Go with honor, friend.
I just want to say really quick, and you're going to hear me say this more than a few times. And you've already heard me say this a few times. Karazhan is one of the best dungeons in the entire game. And it cannot get any gameplay positives. I was actually spending some time thinking about that. Obviously, you know, backporting follower dungeons is something that's actually possible, feasible, and indeed might actually happen. But backporting follower dungeons doesn't fix things like this. The 5 heroic/mythic dungeons would be untouched by that change because they don't do follower dungeons for those. Like, you can't do Dawn of the Infinite with followers, right? Just to name a specific example of the concept. Oh, we can give story pauses out the wazoo. Not gameplay. So, I was thinking in the back of my head, like, what would be the true ideal for me, personally, for them to fix the abandonment problem? And then I kind of started backwalking from that into something a little bit more reasonable. Something that might actually be possible of happening. And the truth is, the only thing I came up with is if they decided to come up with a follower dungeon version of Heroics. And that's it. Like that's my big solution. That's the reasonable possibility. If they come up with a heroic mode for follower dungeons. I don't know. I don't know. I really don't. Obviously, that would also then have to be backported to the big ones, like, you know, this. Or the stuff in every expansion that has those dungeons. The true ideal for me, personally, would actually be a combination of what WoW has already done and what FF14 currently does. A properly designed roulette system that works for WoW, and WoW's slightly different gear structure and in-game structure, combined with the ability to do follower dungeons. In that case, what they could do is they could keep... sorry, everything also applies to raids. Everything I'm saying also applies to raids. Instances in general, let's just say. So, to keep things relatively reasonable, what they could do is they could backport followers to all the normal dungeons, going all the way back to vanilla, or I guess BC in this case. That's, I think, feasible. I would actually put a decent chance on that actually happening under the current team, because they've shown a definite interest in not completely abandoning old content and doing stuff to try and bypass that problem.
We will defend.
It might be rolled out pretty slowly.
It is a world of wonder.
You know, they might only do that like per remixes or as part of other updates to justify the time and expense. But I could see them doing that. The roulette system, though, that's key, because roulette system pulls in heroic, mythic, raid, and allows those to be playable and relevant even in 80 or 90 or whatever.
There remains much to be done.
Well done. At least now most of the remaining demons we have to deal with are inside the tower. Can be more than 1,000 or 2, I'm sure.
Take care, my friend.
I could kill the left 1,000 if you kill the right 1,000. What's your negative, Raleigh? Is it because it's a baby game for babies? It's because it's a baby game for babies. I knew it. I always do.
Wither before my might.
Okay. There's also a quest over there to unlock the Khadgar cutscene, which we've actually already seen. Yeah, I'm kind of with Huthor. What about the weekly lockout is the issue? Like, could you be more specific? Let's approach it from that perspective.
Well met.
Every bit contains an essence of source, ones we can learn about the magic wielder and their ways they manipulate the magic for other purposes.
Be careful.
Ah, good to see you.
Alright, the ley lines we protected must be moved to secure the tower's perimeter. Around the tower, several locations where corruption continues to run rampant, just like Sputnik Lock over there. Around the tower... With the progress we made so far, bolstering the defenses should keep the remaining Legion forces at bay just long enough to discover who's behind their efforts.
Remain vigilant.
Greetings.
While I examine these samples further, I ask that you seek out one of our patrols in the structure to the north. It appears they've captured one of the demons. Go interrogate it. Find out anything you can. And hurry. I'm afraid time is no longer an ally.
Light bless you.
Okay. I'm gonna wink at that. Let's go up then. Peekaboo. I mean... Not super frequently, but ley lines have been in the game since Wrath, at least.
Legion's will be done.
I'm going to assume, based on context clues, that it's referring specifically to raid weekly lockouts. So... Because I can't think of anything else that the weekly lockout even exists or applies to. No, friend, don't hurt Rezel. What are you doing here? Rezel follow Mistress's orders. Rezel only gathers samples from magics. What kind of magic? Depends on my mood, Spartan, and what kind of content I'm doing. Rezel not know things. Rezel only carry things. If Rezel learn magic, Rezel don't gather samples from Mistress. Rezel make own magic. So you're a servant. Yes. Yes! Rezel serve well. Rezel serve... Tell me of your master. Mistress ordered to keep mortals out of tower. Her master needs tower for very big magic. In Burning Legion, even masters have masters. Yeah, unless you're Sargeras. Where's the master you speak of located? Mistress deep in dirt beneath tower. Always busy, but make time for Rezel. Now Rezel's scared to go back. What if Mistress thinks Rezel traitor? You better be telling me the truth. Alright. Rezel's not bad, demon. Yeah, you stay there for now. As I say, you know how FF14 only allows you to loot a particular boss once a week when it's current content? Same general idea. For the same reason, actually.
King's honor, friend. For the Alliance.
While you were working your magic on the demon, I was able to make headway in distilling the corrupted essence down to a simpler, more manageable form. I've asked Khadgar to provide you with the concoction once he's had a look, but I must remind you these essences are quite potent, and often dangerous if not handled with the utmost care. Speak with Khadgar when you're ready.
Light bless you.
Always happy to help.
The samples have proven to be quite helpful, along with your influence.
You are always appreciated.
Deep within the cavernous underbelly of Karazhan lies a long-forgotten chamber. Based on what you learned from our demon friend, I believe this is where the mistress dwells. This demon's master must come from the highest ranks of the Burning Legion. This does not bode well for Karazhan. We need to secure the Deadwind Pass, Neverrep. You must find this demon and destroy it.
Always happy to help.
Okay, I can do that. Not really. I mean, I could make them look blue, and that's it, act. So, gosh, where do I begin with this? There is a universal principle to life, and that is that content takes longer to make than it does to consume it. I suppose that sounds like I'm saying duh, but it's true. What that means for anything that is long form, such as a television show or a updating video game like an MMO, they have to come up with methods to try and ensure, I'm sorry, I'm so late, to ensure that the players don't immediately run out of content and then stop playing your game. Where have you been? Master, please, I doesn't mean to. Ah!
This is irrelevant.
Yeah, it's not padding, though. Like, I'm sorry to sound weird like that. It's just reality. That's like saying that an episode of a television show coming out once a week is padding, because it really is the same thing. In fact, that's an interesting bit of philosophy, and there's been a lot of studies being done about that recently. Let's compare this to television, for example, because this is directly comparable. How many of you, as a purely personal preference, prefer an entire season of a show dropping on a given week? Like, just, clunk, there it is. Here's the whole show. Binge. And conversely, how many of you prefer it when it comes out, say, one episode per week? Now, no judgment on whatever your answer is to that, one way or the other. But there's a fairly large amount of work and effort that's been done to look into this particular topic, because there's a lot of evidence that dropping things on binge is pretty bad for the overall lifespan of the show, and indeed the viability and success of that show.
Let's get to work.
Our worst fears have been proven true. The Legion's presence is deeply rooted in the tower. We must take back Karazhan.
It is a world of wonder.
So, now we will actually do the dungeon.
Be mindful of your duty.
And though your primary objective is to liberate the tower from the Legion's hold, I have another request. Karazhan is a place where magic and history intertwine. Moments of the past have been known to take physical form. These forms possess great power. As you journey through Karazhan, watch for places where memories coalesce. These fragments can provide valuable insight into what's really going on inside the tower.
You are always appreciated.
That is a good question, Bladetal. But that's sort of my overall point. Okay, so there's no nice way to say this. So, if a show goes into binge, then it's probably going to die. That's a near universal truth. It's the same thing with video games. For a while there, way back in the day, they did things exactly as been posited. No weekly lockout. And that didn't work out. And people figured out pretty immediately that didn't work out. And so what would happen, because this happened every single time, is new content would come out. People would slam through it in about 1 day, and then they would log off from for the next 29 days. And that was pretty problematic on basically every level. It led to a lot of people unsubbing for huge swaths of time, like over a year, and then coming back in order to kind of slam through all the content in about like a week or so. And then unsubbing again. That didn't work out. So, later on, they came out with this idea of the time gate. Because the idea of the time gate is actually really, really simple. You can do most of the content at whatever pace you want to, but some of the content is only doable, in X per time, right? Week. You can only do one heroic a day. Excuse me, let me walk that back. You can only do a specific heroic once a day, and I believe that applies to mythics as well. And you can only do a specific raid once per week, and that's your tie. Now, WoW in particular has actually played with this concept. In fact, WoW actually has an option which I don't think any other MMO has. I'm not even sure I can show it to you because I don't think I have any raid ties. Oh, I'm wrong. So you see the Emerald Nightmare tie here? It says right there, I've defeated all those bosses. If I wanted to, I could click this and extend the raid lock. This is its own thing, too. And plays with the concept. Because the idea here is, let's say we make progress in a raid. Let's say we're part of a prefab and we're pushing our way through it. A static, for those who know FF14. And we've gotten to the second to last boss, and we want to make more attempts on that boss next week, rather than having everything be reset on Tuesday. So we extend the raid lockout, and next week we're still in the same raid. Still at the second to last thing. And yeah, there's plenty of things you can do with locks. Some people like to lock their particular raids in a certain state, and then let other people go in and like do a quest, or get an interaction, or loot something, or whatever. There's plenty of stuff you can do with this, but it's a nice system, and it works with the weekly lockout in order to make it not just something that's forcing you to not play for a while. Now, I'm not saying you have to personally like that or dislike that. I'm just trying to explain why, especially from a professional level, it's more or less mandatory. Like, there's not really a feasible way for those weekly lockouts to not exist. Heck, Agner.
I think it wise to divide our efforts. I'll work to circumvent the tower's magical defenses. You may need to take a more blunt force approach.
I can do that.
This goes without saying, but be on your guard. I sense something. A presence I've not felt
Since Star Wars A New Hope? Boy, that was a long time ago. Oh, I understand completely, Aurelia. Like I said, no judgment for your personal opinion. If you only play this game for raids, then yeah, you should probably quit the game, to be 100% honest about that. Because you can only log in once on Tuesday, do your raid, and then log out again. And like I said, no judgment. Yeah, raid logging. That's exactly what that is. It's pretty much the same thing I mentioned earlier. Just on a week level instead of a month level. Anyway, so this is Karazhan. Again. You can't tell, of course. These are completely new trash. Much meaner than the trash back in old BC Karazhan. Much better, too. Can I just say really quick? I really, really love new Karazhan. Like, this is probably in the running for one of the best dungeons in the entire game. So we can have oh god, I don't remember. I don't remember the 3. Whatever. If anybody knows, you can guess. I can't remember. I just remember West Side Story.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this evening's feature presentation. Tonight, we meet 2 lovers born on opposite sides of Sentinel Hill.
West Side Story.
Divided by generations of enmity, they are brought together by passion for dance and violence. As the song of their love rumbles across the fields, will it end in triumph or tragedy? And now, on with the show!
That was it. Beauty and Wicked. That's the other 2. Wicked being the Monkey King, of course. Yeah. Over there's Tony. Over here's Maria with the fins. Notice the fins are all snapping their fingers. Pretty sure that's when they added this animation, actually.
Let's dance!
That should be slow enough.
You're not thinking I'm someone else. Or that we've met before? I'm just gonna play it cool.
I don't want to know what drives a man to fall in love with a Murloc. Like, I try very, very hard not to be judgmental, but she's a Murloc. So...
It's you and me against the world, baby.
What should we get now? Mind me.
Now that's what I call a hot foot.
Uh-oh.
Wanna go for a spin? Now that's what I call a hot foot.
Well. This sucks. I actually thought I was doing... no, I did soft lock the fight. It's soft locked right now. I thought I was doing DPS slow enough. Obviously, I was not.
Now that's what I call a hot foot. Wanna go for a spin?
It's actually extremely easy to soft lock it, as I just demonstrated. So, I killed them too quickly, is really the simple answer. Interestingly enough, this might qualify for negative to gameplay, because this is how we'd experience the content now. And it is very easy to soft lock this fight. Well, the only way out of that is to Alt F4. What's a shadow meld, is Miristar? Oh, it'd be pretty obvious why it's soft lock. Anybody who's played this game could tell when you've killed something too quickly. If an enemy just sits at 1 HP and does nothing, you're soft locked. It's pretty obvious. Hey, Loke. No, I haven't had a chance to look into it before you ask. There it is. Now this is interesting. There's a patch in Dragonflight. I think that was in January. Defeating Tony too quickly will no longer prevent the encounter from continuing. Good morning, Evo. Okay, so that might be long enough. I think you're right, Uthor. I think that's exactly what they did.
Now that's what I call a hot foot.
God damn it.
Wanna go for a spin?
Okay, hang on.
Now that's what I call a hot foot.
A little bit higher, a little bit higher. You know, you actually can evade him out here, and I happen to be on a demon hunter. Did I get it? Nope. Let's try the other side.
Now that's what I call a hot foot.
There we go. For future reference. If you are not a night elf, there's how you fix that. All right. Slightly different approach.
Let's dance. I'm just gonna play it cool. I'll never stop.
Hey!
You're not thinking I'm someone else.
Okay, hang on. I don't think it quite worked. No, it worked. It worked. Okay, yep. They added a kill command. That's funny. I actually bugged it out by going too slow. That is hysterical. Serves me right, I suppose. I'm with her. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. The good news is that's the only real buggy thing in here. So this is my favorite part about this. When you get to the back area, all of the bosses from Raid Karazhan are here. Romulo. Maybe if her acting had been less transparent, we wouldn't be out of a job.
Open for business.
Ugh, he's so insufferable. What a jerk.
Safe travels.
So yeah, Romulo and Julian are not talking to each other. Over here we've got the Wizard of Oz.
What are you looking for?
Everyone's gaga for these oh-so-clever retellings. No one appreciates the classics anymore.
See you around.
You're actually quite smart, I'll have you know. You know, I wasn't really scared all that time on the stage. I'm just a good actor. Really? Don't tell the other cast members, but I'm glad we're on break. I was worrying about getting typecast as a man in a metal suit for my entire career. Don't worry, Robert Downey Jr. There's no worry of that happening. Do you expect me to call you my pretties? Maybe make some whirlwinds? It's called acting, darling. And over here, of course, we have the big bad wolf and the grandmother. Oh, grandmother, what big ears you have. Yeah, it's all right, dearie. I don't need anyone to run my lines with me. I've got them pretty well memorized by now. Ugh. They aren't going to put on a show back on soon. We'll have to keep this stupid suit on. It's so itchy. Say the thing. I don't know. Come on. I don't do that anymore. Please. I'm a big fan. Fine, here goes.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Thank you. Yep. The thing that people who've probably never even done that raid know because they have DBM. So, let's go through the waves of dead people that Medivh murdered while he was here. Deadly Boss Mods. It is an add-on that I recommend for most people who play this game. Let's... hang on. Let's kill all these people first, real quick. If you don't use Deadly Boss Mods, you should probably use Bigwigs. If you don't use Bigwigs or Deadly Boss Mods, then get out of my Mythic and or Raid. And then I stab you. Stab. All these people are dead. These are all what you'd call Type 2 undead. Natural. These people died badly, and so they're still here. This is one of my favorite bits of trash in here. So, this used to be a hallway filled with various types of prostitutes. Now, instead, you have the virtuous ladies, and the wholesome hosts, and the reformed maidens. Now, I don't think I can show you, but if I damage them sufficient, they convert into slightly different versions of themselves. So the Maiden of Virtue is actually a really mean fight in this
The
dungeon.
stench of corruption is upon you.
Like, she would do this thing where she does mass repentance, and if you get stuck by that, then you're dead.
All shall be sanctified.
But mass repentance is destroyed if you take damage. And she puts damage on the ground.
Cleansed.
Now, I'm not going to show it off, but the idea is, you know, you take damage by dipping into this, and then dip right back out of it.
Step into the light, mortals.
Also, as you can see, that covers a huge swath of the ground.
You are all as corrupt as the Guardian.
Our friend lies just in here.
It breaks my heart to see him like this.
This is Lane Rin, Varian's father, and Lothar. Remember, they made his model for the Warrior Order Hall. That's Medivh.
Another year of slumber. I wonder if Medivh will ever awaken.
Does our old friend dream? Is he trapped in nightmares?
Narrator. Medivh's rest was not particularly restful. So obviously no brickwork or doodad positives for any of this because it's just Karazhan again. None. It's just part of the dungeon, Lenareth. I mean, I have the quest to do the dungeon, but that's it. Doesn't have anything to do with those. Oh yeah, this is required to summon Nightbane. I actually forgot about that. So I kind of like this little tidbit.
The Master hasn't been himself for quite some time. Perhaps a feast will brighten his spirit.
This was another one of those mean fights. It's pretty much the same general idea as the BC version, except it's much meaner. So that's Peeta Venkner and Egona Spangley trying to use... Look, it's a Ghostbusters reference. I don't know what you want from me. What kind of brickwork is missing from here? None, but we've already given the positive for it, Aurelia. This is just Karazhan again. It is copy-paste, 1-to-1. Even the food is exactly in the same order. You can tell because it's the old, terrible BC-era textures. So I cannot give positives to this twice because I've already given positives to it once. Make sense? Hi, Rose. Loved you in the trailer.
May we see your invitation?
Oh, yeah, sure thing.
Mind your manners. I will just need a moment.
Or Medivh.
Enough of this weakness, boy! Contain your magic!
Too much power! Father, no!
By the way, Aaron was never a good father. I'm just going to say that. I mean, we've had worse fathers than him, but he was not a good father. Technically, the one I just saw is before the previous one. Sorry. He was also screwed over by Egwene, and I have rarely meant that as literally. Good fathers in WoW? It's worrying how long this is taking me to come up with one. I was going to say Thrall, but it's mostly off camera. It's entirely off camera, I think, actually. Magni's an interesting case. We'll talk more about him much later, because Magni was definitely a bad father, but, and this is critical, has been doing everything in his power to improve that. So, he's a bad father, but that's not the end of the sentence. Unlike most of these cases where they're a bad father, period. You know? Moira's actually a pretty good mother. Weirdly enough.
Well, well. Another group of thieves trying to steal my horse.
My horse.
I have become hunted.
Wow. God, I'm having trouble thinking of good fathers now. Durotan? I was going to say, that feels like cheating because, not really? I mean, he was a good father for a few seconds. Don't stand there. Sorry. This is my favorite part here because people came here and were like, what the hell? I didn't know this part was even here. Because most people didn't even do this section of the Karazhan. I mean, Varrock sort of was a good father to Anduin, bizarrely enough. Alexandros? Yeah, I'd agree with that. The All-Father. Nope, you got me. Odin's the best dad. And confirm? Oh, whatever. Was Cairn a good father? I mean, we can assume he was because he was Cairn and he was awesome. But how often do we see Cairn interact with Bane? I mean, Bane was barely a character until... I'd say BFA, honestly. I mean, he was in Kata, like, for one quest chain in Mulgore. Was Braska a good father? Now, that is an interesting question. That would make Magni a good grandfather, Kraken-san. Which, interestingly enough, if we adjust this question to good grandfathers, the list improves substantially. Did you notice that? We actually have several good grandfathers. And uncles, while we're on the subject. Oh my god. Yeah, Lillian Voss's father is probably the worst. Was Tyrannus a good father? Now that's a fascinating question.
The menagerie is for...
Eradicate! Eradicate!
You heard him.
System failure imminent.
Now you're ready to oversee the tower's protection in my absence.
Defense protocols activated.
I must remember to shut you down from time to time. Overuse might cause you to become erratic.
Eradicate, one might say. So you notice I haven't really been commenting on the story of New Karazhan. It's actually called Return to Karazhan. That's because, if you've been paying attention, everything we've been going through so far is just member berries. I don't mind, really. This is Legion. It had been literal years. In fact, I think it had been a decade since Karazhan had come out. And a lot of people who were playing during Legion never played back in BC. So a lot of this is just Karazhan, but, like, touched up. Okay, sure. But then we move to the second half of the dungeon, which we have just entered. And it's pretty obvious pretty immediately that things are a little bit different, because if you look up, there's the floor. So, in the olden days... hang on, let me orient myself for a second. Yeah, in the olden days, that's where we'd come out from the boss we just fought. And then we'd hop down there, go over there, and go up that pathway to go up that part of the tower. Yeah, this is a library back in Kara. If you look down at the ceiling, things are a little bit different than they looked back in the day. Ooh, there. Let's not fall. I've been wondering where Pyro was. Here he is. Oh, he's dead. Sorry, Pyro. Alright, dumb joke. Yeah, let's not slip and fall into... I'm not even sure what that is down there. Up there? This is also when they start playing with more modern concepts a lot. For example, that down there. Actual, honest-to-goodness terrain manipulation in dungeon design.
This is who I am. I was tainted from birth, polluted from before my conception. A bad seed grown to bear bitter fruit.
When did Heavensward come out? Out of curiosity. Because I'm pretty sure Heavensward predates Legion. I'm almost positive.
Hello, champions. I've been expecting you.
Notice the audio is still like that old grainy radio style. 2015. Yep, I was right. I was right. So instead of the Shade of Aaron,
Burn. Just like that dragon.
we fight the Shade of Medivh. Similar concepts, but a much different overall execution of the fight.
Burn. Just like that dragon.
I can actually hit buttons? Holy crap. Okay, I can do that.
Atiesh will be splintered.
And then we go to the library. Oops, hang on. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. So we fall through the library. And then we fall through space. And then we fall back into the library. Oh, never mind. We're just in the observatory. Although it's taken a long time for us to get to the bottom of the observatory for some reason. It's really weird. It's almost like... I don't know. Something's weird here. Whoa! Yeah, so this is... I'm sorry, this is great. They do a couple of visual tricks there to try and adjust it on the fly so that the player isn't really supposed to notice what's happening. If you pay attention, if you adjust your camera, you can actually see where and when they do the trickery. Because we are actually shrunk. The game has the ability to shrink the player model, which also dynamically shrinks their hitbox, collision box. Anybody who's ever actually played around with any of those toys that shrink or increase your size knows this. Like, you can actually make yourself big enough so you can no longer fit through a doorway because your collision model is based on your size, right? So they actually do this to us. And yeah, we are now critter-sized. So our next boss is a tiny little trash mob. Our trash up ahead is a mouse, a spider, and a book. I'm sorry, I love this. I love this sequence. Karazhan was supposed to be weird, and so they let themselves play with things a bit. Like, a lot of Karazhan doesn't follow linear logic because of the sheer quantity of arcane magic that's pumping through here, unrestrained. Remember, this place is built... This is a very cursed tower built on a confluence of like 5 or 6 different ley lines. You've got all kinds of awareness colliding here. Sorry, in addition to it being cursed, it was also host to Sargeras himself for several years. So, yeah. So here's the Monitor Devourer. Yeah, everything here makes sense in a certain light. And as soon as we kill it, we go back to normal size. See? And there's the boss we just killed. And you can tell that's the boss we just killed because here's a 3-pack of the boss we just killed. That is possible, Huthor, because they did do a transition there. I'm actually not sure, to be honest with you. Pretty freaking strong, Auralia. Obviously, you know, not as strong as Sargeras himself, duh, but the Avatar of Sargeras is a raid boss for a reason. So that was cool. I think that was cool. I think that was positive worthy. Blade Torval hates this dungeon, though. And puppies. Wait, no, I'm screwing it up. It's actually Valerian who hates puppies. Well, actually, I guess Valerian loves puppies, doesn't he? Well, that's interesting, because obviously Kil'jaeden is technically stronger than the Avatar in gameplay, but lore-wise, I would say that when Sargeras was still in the damn thing, it was probably stronger than Kil'jaeden. And Kil'jaeden is much stronger than Ragnaros. Probably. So, okay, the thing with the second Lich King is that a lot of his power isn't direct. To explain that differently, if the Avatar of Sargeras walked up the second Lich King, the Avatar of Sargeras would pulverize the second Lich King. But yeah.
It couldn't have been helped, you know. We tried to alter it, but it was all part of a larger scheme.
I know. All part of a greater cycle. A cycle that now at last may be broken.
Agreed, actually, as Miristar. The movie, in my opinion, generally screwed up the human characters, but there were a couple of exceptions to that. Khadgar himself being the big one. Yeah, interestingly enough, there's a reason they still call Medivh the Last Guardian. Just kind of showing off. This is all new brickwork. Sorry, to go back to what Aralia asked earlier. This is all new brickwork and doodads and usage here. I'm not even sure this was in the original Kara. Yeah, did you see the mage disc there? This way, I think. Yes. Yeah, Lothar... Oh, I don't know what the hell was going on with Lothar. So once again, do not fall. There's the floor up there, and the other library. Could you guys quit? Thanks. So, we were talking about unique building, like building management sims. Restoring / reclaiming Karazhan. You start off with one room right up front. That is all you manage at the beginning. You have to bring in resources. Those are probably time gated. So it's like you either have time as a resource, resources as a resource, or both. So you can't just bulldoze your way through it. Yeah, no, Femel's a great actor. I don't know what the hell went on there. And yeah, your goal is to retake more and more rooms of Karazhan and try to fix them. Because, as I mentioned before, this whole place is really screwed. This place is lots of weird. I don't think I even got it across. So first of all, the Deadwind Pass itself was horribly cursed before Karazhan was ever made. That happened with Ulthalesh, the Deadwind Harvester. So you're in a cursed location. There was a town here which everyone there died and was mass murdered. So there's that kind of a curse thing going on. There's the tons of arcane magic pouring into this place. There's the fact that Demon Logic and Sargeras were personally involved in the construction and operation of the place twice. Oh, it also has a dimensional rip in it. I forgot about that one. One that we know of. So, chess. Don't worry. It's not like it used to be. In fact, one of my favorite things about this chess event is if you notice, there's several demons who are trying to infiltrate this part of the dungeon and have failed. Very nice bit of foreshadowing there. So this is the new chess event. Yes and no, Magister. Mostly no. but it was a neat thing. I really think that with modern tech, they can make the chess event really pop. I do. But as is, anyways, boop. Look, it even shows where they're moving to now, and it's just, look at that. Much, much better implementation of the chess concept. Now, I do think they can do even better, but let's not go into that. Yes, I have, actually, Master Man. Ooh, hello. Oh, yeah, by the way, did you notice the king is Black Hand wielding Lane's sword? That's a nice touch. There are only the two that I'm aware of, Evo. So, there's Khadgar. But you're probably wondering, what is going on with this section? Well, I mentioned that dimensional rip, right?
I've left so many fragments of myself throughout this tower.
Medivh?
I will open the way. While you battle that fiend, I will sever the tower's connection to Legion worlds. I suggest we be quick about it.
By the way, two things. First, yes, that is actually Medivh. You've probably been wondering what the hell he's been doing since Warcraft 3.
Karazhan's presence radiates through the Nether, a beacon drawing in the Legion's light. Our burning crusade has consumed countless worlds. This tower will serve as a conduit to each of them. One battle remains. One final conquest to complete the grand design.
So, yeah, Medivh has been off fighting the Legion for the last 30 years, or however long it's been at this point. And yeah, notice the story and vibe just completely change, which makes sense. Because, yeah, Karazhan directly connects to the Nether. Of course it does. Again, remember, this place was partially built with Sargeras' input. Now, I don't want to be too dismissive. Let's be clear. This is a retcon. In fact, it's actually the second retcon. The original retcon was that Medivh was off being in the comics and dealing with Medan and telling Medan how big his dick was. But in this is retconning the comic, which itself is retconning Warcraft 3. Personally, I kind of like this version better. Now, I'm going to try not to kill this guy instantly, because this is a great fight. I want to show off at least a little bit of it. Let's see if I can, poke you here. I love the music out here. And yeah, the vibe just completely changes. Yeah, new observer model, by the way. Come on. You're gonna have to toss me. Please. Please. There he goes.
You will kneel. You will serve.
And there it is. You can't quite see it from here. I love this fight so much. I would honestly not recommend pretty much any of the comics. Let me walk that sentence back. They occasionally release like little short 2-3 page comics. Those are almost universally good. But like the comics, yeah, exactly, Huthor. The free comics are legit. Like there was one about Moira when Magni woke up. And it was just Magni apologizing to Moira for being a terrible father, and then he leaves to go into BFA. That was good. Like the comics, the ones that they have effectively discontinued, screw those. Okay, so there it is. There's that shot. Look at that. Look at that. I don't know why. It's not even a big deal. It's just another ship. Whoa. What? What? Anyways, it's just another ship coming out of the rift. but it's a great shot. I can't quite get it from this angle. It's over there. I've never had that happen before. Anyway, so this gets some brickwork positives. This, in fact, actually, no. It doesn't. Hang on. So we're going to do brickwork for the earlier section. And visual storytelling. Not that I'm aware of, Arella. I think you're quite correct.
This tower belongs to the Legion.
I'm just gonna kill him.
Foresee such an end.
Unfortunately, I may not hear the cutscene as a result. We're gonna wait. Oh, hang on, here we go. And there's our shot.
I have made it clear before. I do not want such power.
You have all the power you will ever need, Khadgar. It is your heart, your courage, that makes you this world's guardian. And a better one than I ever was.
And that's true.
I don't know what to say, Medivh.
Enough sentiment. Hear these words before I depart. It may be simpler to shut a door than to pass through it, but sometimes a step into the unknown is required to break the bonds of fate. There is much that lies ahead for all of us. Farewell.
See you around, Medivh.
The bonds of fate. I must consider those words. Until next time, champions.
Khadgar. So, bit by bit, I've been trying to draw attention to it. Legion has a really fascinating main plot that I love so much, and I can't wait to gush more about it. But part of what I love so much about the main plot is that they've been building up to it very quietly in the background. We've already seen one thread of that plot. That thread is Cordona, the Betrayer Warden who kind of got the dominoes started. What you just saw was the second beat of that plot. I'm going to repeat that quote because it's important. It may be simpler to shut a door than to pass through it, but sometimes a step into the unknown is required to break the bonds of fate. God, that's gorgeous. Look at that. That's just the right type of terrifying. If I might complain about one thing about the Legion ships, it's that they overuse them. Let me explain that a little bit. They're Borg cubes. Okay, some of you probably don't get that. One Borg cube is terrifying. 5 Borg cubes is just okay. It loses impact, right? If we had say one ship that was attacking Dalaran, yeah, Star Destroyers from Star Wars, one ship attacking Dalaran back during the beginning of Legion, that's terrifying. If we have one ship here and another one coming through, that's terrifying. But there's like 6 ships around here. We bounce between 2 of them, for God's sake. Yeah, there it is. There's the other one over there. And if you look in the distance, I don't blame you if you haven't been, but you can see several of them moving around in the distance there. And there's some more right above me. Do you see them? I get that it's supposed to be a Legion, but again, it's the Star Destroyer concept. It doesn't matter that the Galactic Empire has tens of thousands of Star Destroyers. Logically, from a purely narrative perspective, if you overuse them, they lose impact. That image right there is far more impactful than the dozen ships moving in front of it. Anyways.
There remains much to be done. It's good to have you on our side.
Yeah, actually, Doctor Who and Daleks is a good example. 1,000,000 Daleks is a joke. Every time they show the Daleks en masse, they're pathetic. But there's been a few episodes of Doctor Who where there is one Dalek. And every time, that tends to be terrifying. Yeah, exactly. Like, I wouldn't even mind if they show dozens of ships there to show the Armada, right? But as pointed out, they've been using ships constantly.
Like you.
What of the Cybermen? Nah. They exist, I guess. I've never liked the Cybermen. I think I'm weird on that front. Sorry, let me just dump my inventory really quick here. Sorry. I know I'm so slow. I'm turning Canadian. Oh, God! I was always my own Canadian girlfriend. And that's not even a masturbation joke. Alright, so... Let's see here. Because I think we should now be able to do a quest.
Ah, good.
There it is. Falling Star.
Take care, my friend.
Slayer Neverrip, thank you for coming. I have a matter of some urgency that requires your unique talents. The Order of the Silver Hand have reported an extraordinarily luminescent object emerging from the Fellstorm and falling towards the coast of Suramar. What I find most curious is that the object was reported as having cut a swath through the Fellstorm itself. Will you investigate? Yeah, sure.
Always happy to help.
I don't remember that one. Oh, no, I do. Yes, Lo. Yes, agreed. Yes, this is also... You'll notice we're hitting several main plot beats here. I'm doing this on purpose. This is another one of those dominoes of the main plot of Legion. Technically, this event happens before Karazhan, but it doesn't matter.
Keep your wits about you. If we noticed that object shooting out from the Fellstorm, so too did the Legion.
Fun little anecdote, this quest is actually different if you're a Paladin, because the Paladins specifically noticed, or sorry, the Paladin Order Hall are the ones who actually detected this first.
Look there, to the north. Gaze upon the Nighthold of Suramar. What secrets are kept inside?
One of the best raids in the game. I don't know if it's at Blackrock Foundry levels, but Nighthold was legit. And frankly, if there is one thing that would make Nighthold better than Blackrock Foundry, it's the story axis. Blackrock Foundry was great, but kind of weak narratively. Nighthold is great on both. Now, Tomb of Sargeras...
Ancient highborn ruins litter the landscape. And there, along the coast, it looks to be a Vrykul settlement. Fascinating.
Hagrid, how are you seeing through my eyes? Don't question it. Okay. What's that over there? That's just our Death Knight brethren getting ready to invade Light's Hope Chapel. Wait, what?
There it is. Land at the shoreline and investigate.
I think I missed it. Whatever.
Somewhere in those murky waters is our mysterious object. Time to get your feet wet.
I actually have not experienced the current raid, not counting the last boss. That being said, I actually really liked the last boss.
It's not here. Those beasts must have dragged it into the cave. The search continues.
Wait, really? Pillars of Snow? Why? I knew it, Uthor. You secretly hate joy. Or, I mean... I'm sorry, if you have seen me be upset with WoW for the better part of the last 2 months, right? I think we're actually reaching the 2-month marker in, like, this week or next week. You will never see me gush as concentrated gushing as when we get to Suramar, which there's a decent chance we'll reach today. That's all I'll say about that. So if you want to watch this to hate watch WoW, don't watch the Suramar section.
There's only one way to separate a giant from its treasure. You know what to do.
Uh-huh. No, I took that.
Excellent. Hurry back to Dalaran and meet me in the Chamber of the Guardian. Safe return, friend.
It's really strange. Why would Mythic not do that? Oh, God. Back when I didn't shave my hair. I don't actually know, Aurelia. That would be in the book, and honestly, I don't like that book, so... I haven't read it since I first read it, and I will probably never read it again. So... Legion hit differently for people like me. That's not an elitist statement. It's a statement of fact, because I'm a lore hound. I've been caring about the lore of video games since Mega Man 2. And yes, I say that very specifically because I understand what that sounds like. So, a lot of Legion moments call back to things like when we did the Priest Order Home, we first started the artifact chain. Who was the first person we met? Alonzus Fowl. And my reaction was, dude! It's Alonzus Fowl! And, you know, the people I was chatting with in chat said, who? So yeah, that was Legion in a nutshell. I think it's one of the reasons why, for me personally, it was a little bit higher than it might have deserved to be.
I'm glad you're...
And you're probably wondering why I bring that up right now. Well...
Azeroth, I pray that this, the final plea of the Army of the Light, has reached you in
Good pick to voice him, too.
The 1,000 Years' War has reached its peak.
By a negative story.
But the nightmare is far from over. This vessel represents our ultimate sacrifice. It must reach the Prophet. He is the key. None of us asked for this burden, but it is what fate has deemed. Succeed, and the light may yet endure. Fail, and all worlds will burn.
Which is the exact same thing Illidan said, by the way.
We will not fail. Terrellian.
Okay, I kind of love that, because we had no reason to suspect that that was Terrellian. Because we don't recognize him, right? We don't know what he looks like. We don't know what he sounds like. But of course, Khadgar would recognize his old friend. Yeah, he's a statue in Stormwind, and also doesn't look like that while we're on the subject.
I was hoping
so, Terrellian lives. For ages, I thought my old friend had perished on some desolate Legion world, but to know he yet lives and is in danger is too much to bear. We must hurry, Never Rip. We must uncover the object's sacred purpose. The prophet of whom Terrellian spoke is undoubtedly the leader of the Draenei Felon. Take the object, journey to Exodar. You got it.
Be mindful of your duty.
But before we do this, real quick, who is Terrellian?
This portal will take you to the Exodar.
Khadgar? Khadgar?
Good luck, champion.
Try to talk. Thank you. Terrellian is one of the characters in Warcraft 2. Yeah, they actually hinted at Terrellian and Illyria being a thing all the way back in BC. So, extremely brief summary. During Warcraft 2's expansion, they added a bunch of new characters. It's actually where Grom Hellstream comes from, along with Kargath Bladefist. I think that's when Kilrog first showed up as well. It's where Ner'zhul was a thing, I think. I'm not sure of the exact list, so forgive me, but a decent number of characters we call Warcraft 2 characters were actually invented for the expansion. It was called Beyond the Dark Portal, because the whole point of the expansion was you would take the fight back to Draenor. We went back through the Dark Portal and chased the Horde, the demonic Horde, back into their homeland. Make sense? I think Deathwing started in that as well. I think you're correct. Anyways, while we were there, this is actually kind of interesting because both sides, both Horde and Alliance, had the same general plot arc, which was different from how they'd done things prior to then. And many people, myself included, think was a prototype for how they would do stories going forward, like in StarCraft and Warcraft 3. So both sides go through the portal, fight, and then it turns out that Ner'zhul has betrayed them all and uses the Staff of Sargeras to open up portals and starts ripping the world apart. So the Alliance had to hold the line in order to prevent the demonic horde from causing problems and blah, 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 blah. But the Alliance heroes were all left on the other side, except for Khadgar, who's like the only guy who got through. Right, no, he didn't get through, my bad. Didn't someone get through? No, I guess nobody did. I thought somebody got through, but it's been a while. Either way, nobody got through. So Khadgar was stuck back on Outland. So was... the Danath, or Danath, I forget his name, but he's stuck there. And Khadgar stuck there, and the Wildhammer guy, I can't think of his name, is stuck there. But there were two people who weren't stuck; they were lost, and those were Illyria and Turellian, the Knight hero unit, which is Turellian, and the Ranger hero unit, which was Illyria. Kurdrin, thank you, Kurdrin Wildhammer. So they were just lost, and that was a big dangling plot thread for literal decades, because they never did anything from that. From Warcraft 2's expansion all the way to Legion is the first time they actually tied back into that. So the fact that Turellian is alive is kind of a big deal. If you remember, during the Hunter order chain earlier, they actually mention Illyria. So a lot of people were like, hold up. Yeah, exactly, Fife. Now, forgive me, I need to AFK for a couple of minutes. I will be right back, and then we will do the battle for the Exodar. Hey, Dickfish. Thank you. As always. Dead Rising 1R, Skyrim, Signalis, and I hope you've been having a good new year. So, the Exodar is under attack, and there's Legion ships. I think
we make our last stand at the Vault of Lights. If you can make your way here, you will find sanctuary, although I cannot say for how long.
Did your vision foretell of this day, Prophet? Did you see our coming? I bring you a message from Kil'jaeden, to be served in the blood of your people. Justice will be met!
Yes, P.F. Worth.
A coward's death to these traitorous Draenei! Mar their corpses, so the living may see the fate that awaits them!
Yeah, hi, Garrosh.
Rakish. His name means butcher in Eredun. It is no coincidence that Kil'jaeden sent an Eredar to slaughter my people. The deceiver revels in his creative punishments for those that dare defy him.
Yeah, some people didn't really know the difference or significance between the Eredar and the Draenei here. Sorry, Draenei. So yes, it's possible to get the Warglaives of Azzinoth. You can just get them off of Illidan, but also during Legion Time Walking, which happens to be live right now. If you get if you manage to get a group going and happen to be playing a Demon Hunter, you can get the cosmetic for your Demon Hunter by beating Illidan. Oh yeah, and to clarify, sorry, Aurelia, you mentioned that I have that you thought I was referring to the Chronicle book when I mentioned my ire for that book. I was actually referring to the War of the Ancients book. Screw that book. And yes, canonically, every single Order Hall joined in the defense of the Exodar, which makes sense. It's a capital city being attacked. And yeah, if you pay attention, this is all the NPCs of the Exodar. I weep for the people who had to sit and think about, you know, all of them, find them, track their ID labels, and move them and reposition them and just place them for this. But at the same time, that person loved their job. I hope they did a good job. I shouldn't say that. They might not have loved their job. Might have been a 9 to 5. Maybe they suck. I don't know. Sure, here's the clip right now. The book sucks. Okay, we're done. So.
Fate has delivered you to us in this most dire time, hero. While I sense that your mission is urgent, if we do not push back these invading demons, we will all perish. This barrier protecting my people requires all of my energy and focus. I am afraid you must venture into the demon-infested halls alone. Please search for survivors and eliminate the Legion invasion point portals that you find across the Exodar.
Done. But we need to save Nabundo, too.
Hurry. I do not know how much longer I can keep this barrier active.
Break your bodies upon the Prophet's barrier, minions. Soon it shall fall, and with it, the hopes of the Draenei. Your will be done, Master. Your interference only delays the inevitable. Minions, destroy them!
So, let's pause for a second and talk about how extremely well designed this is. So you see all those portals? You need 8 of those. There are 14. There's also a rare down there who gives you plenty of progress for the bonus objective. and a bonus quest up there for Nabundo. Both of those are, as you might imagine from the word bonus, completely optional. There's also lots of people you can rescue throughout the Exodar. In other words, the way they designed this was...
Retreated into the collapsed shaft on the northern edge of the Crystal Hall. We are holding back the demon onslaught, but our defenses are quickly falling apart.
Thank you, Nabundo. I'm coming. If you'd shut up. In other words, they gave you... This is what I would generally consider to be good quest design. They gave you a quest that said do 10 things, and they gave you 30 things to do. It allows you choice. It allows you to decide what and how and where you decide to do this. And as was just pointed out by Asmiristar, and I agree with this completely, this is kind of structured like an RTS map. And go figure, I tend to like the quests that are designed like RTS missions. So this obviously isn't relevant anymore, but let me share a little story with you. Back in the day, it was possible to reach this particular quest, and mind you, this is MSQ. You actually did have to do this to progress through the Legion story, and not be particularly well geared. So you'd get to something like, say, that trash pack over there, and that giant brute and his 4 sycophants, you couldn't take that. But what you could do, right, if I can hurry here, maybe. There they are. So you see how the ads suddenly spawned? Our ads. And remember, this is Legion, so for the first time, and friendly helpers, NPC helpers, actually do damage and hold aggro. And now, you could just focus on one of these guys. And then another one. Until it's just the big guy left. And then you can have helpers taking them out. This was brilliant. Can I just gush about this for a second? I was very impressed with the Battle for the Exodar. Because it was very well designed, whether you were geared, whether you were not, and regardless of your spec. It rewarded you thinking about how you progress through it. And again, it allowed you to choose your method of doing so. You're of course going to save the child, because duh. I love how the children call the Eridar Angry Draenei, by the way. Hello, Zar. Honestly, yeah, Auralia. And for basically the same reason. Now, we are going to save Nabundo. Of course we freaking are. But again, optional. You don't actually have to. I'm actually too high up. I need to be over here. I know a lot of people who didn't know this part of the Exodar was even here.
I am listening.
The Exodar shook from the force of the Legion's arrival. Before we could react, the demons were running rampant through the hall, slaughtering everything in their path. Were not for the Prophet, we would have perished in the initial assault. I was charged with evacuating the Crystal Hall, which is when my Broken and I were separated from the main force. We fell back to the collapsed hall to make our last stand. With your aid, we may survive this.
We must never forget.
We will make our last stand on your command, champion. Tell me when you're ready. Bring me that defiant aberration!
And notice we suddenly have a party, which consists of a tank, a healer, and 2 DPS.
We can only defeat them if we stand united.
If you're paying attention, yes, this is the continued development of what we nowadays refer to as follower tech. We saw this during the artifact quest, and we would have seen this during Pandaria if the quest wasn't removed from the game. But the significance, and the reason why this is so well designed, is what this means is if you're a tank, sure. If you're a DPS, sure. But if you're a healer, you can actually sit back and heal and let them carry and just keep them alive. In other words, they used the concept here, the follower concept, to make this role agnostic. And once again, notice that the ads are the NPCs.
Ground and air! Fell guards and doom guards, attack!
Are actually doing damage and participating in the fight. Agreed, Auralia. FF14 has done some good stuff with solo duties over the years, and I'll absolutely give it props for that. Probably some of the best gameplay we see outside. Well, it is the best gameplay we see outside of dungeons and raids in FF14. And honestly, WoW's kind of in a similar boat there. Most of these solo duties are really, really, really good. This will be true even in BFA.
Enough! Sisters, end this nonsense.
Oh, no, you don't. Get back here. Get back here.
Your world will be...
Karzak, I call upon you! Finish them!
Good lord. I'm glad you're enjoying Duckfish. Even if it's for nostalgia. God, he immediately fears. You got this, guys. As soon as you stop being feared. There we go. Get back in the fight. Get back in the fight.
Do not give up.
You have my thanks and the gratitude of the broken. Many would have considered us an acceptable loss. You have shown great compassion and kindness. An act that I and we will not soon forget. Who would consider people an acceptable loss? Don't answer that question.
The elements will never forsake us.
Only by working together with these heroes have we won this day. Quickly, brethren, to the Vault of Lights! The Prophet needs our help!
And yeah, Pit Lord in a situation like this, where you can't use the terrain to your advantage, yeah, that's kind of scary.
Send in the Wrath Lords at once! Stop these meddling insects!
Probably as Miristar. Wouldn't that be interesting, especially if you were a shaman? You lost access to Nabundo. Because he's frickety dead. Don't worry, we'll get Rakesh to shut up pretty soon. I would already be done with this, but I really wanted to save Nabundo. Are you saying you didn't want to save Nabundo, Magister? Is that where we're at? Be honest. See you around, Deckfish. Get some good sleep. Try to get some good sleep. Also, Huthor, if you're there, I have a question for you. It has to do with you being Hitler. Oh, don't even try to say anything on Reddit. You kidding me? Yura can tell you some interesting stories about talking on Reddit. Don't mistake me. Reddit can be a great source of information. And it can. I've actually, to this day, or I think as recently as like 2 days ago, still get good information from Reddit.
You foolishly stand in defiance of the endless armies of Sargeras. Sisters, bring me their head!
But,
Well with this one!
not there for a conversation. To finish my sentence really quickly. Yeah, Reddit is there when someone has a really, really rare esoteric problem, and someone else has also had that problem and posted the solution for it. I'm not joking. It was actually last night, I was wrong, we were playing Trine 5, which is our current co-op game. And we ran into an interesting problem which we thought was a bug. And lo and behold, one person on Reddit also ran into that bug. It wasn't a bug, it was just bad design, and we got past it. Yeah, pretty much, Ross. Oh, tell me about it. Having said that, the Exodar was a perfect pick for this. Like, I know that we stretched the definition of MSQ a little bit in WoW because, honestly, the way that FF14 uses that word, WoW wouldn't use that word until, honestly, like, War Within, debatably. But this is pure MSQ. This is directly tied to the main plot of Legion. Well, plus, they know what we're about to do here. I don't want to spoil too much, but this is actually a 1-2 punch. This particular invasion. In lore, I mean. There's a reason they're attacking here, and there's a reason they sent Rakish.
Most of our people have returned safely to the Vault of Lights. The time has come to focus your attention on the remaining Fel portals and end Rakish's incursion.
Done.
Divinius, the champion has crushed the incursion. Now is the time to take the Chosen and finish off the leftover demonic taint within our halls. Secure the Exodar for our people once more.
As you command, Prophet.
I love the Space Marine Draenei, by the way. I don't know what else to call them. It's the Ultra Paladins. We see them again in the last zone. Those guys down there. Virtuos, Equinus, Jost, Herodus, Sanctus, and of course Divinius. So hey, Velen, and Abundo.
I fear we have but a moment, hero. Rakish is still here, somewhere, and he must be stopped if my people are to find peace again. I know that you have ventured far to find me, and have brought with you a dire message. In your possession is an object of great importance. May I see it?
Here you go.
We welcome your help. You are the instrument of change.
Mother of Light! I'm sorry. I did not know. Champion, we have to go, now! I will explain on the way there. Inform me when you are prepared to leave, but please hurry.
I am prepared to leave.
What you have brought to me is known as Light's Heart. It is the sentience core of the Naru Prime, Zira. Locked away within the core is wisdom, knowledge, crucial to our battle against the Burning Legion.
So what's the catch?
Only a Naru born of Zira is capable of unlocking the core. This is why you were sent here. This is the true purpose of the Burning Legion's invasion of the Exodar. The last of Zira's line, Oros, sits unguarded in the heart of the Exodar. If they destroy Oros, the information within Light's heart will be lost forever. For a prophet, you are doing a very poor job of making predictions. It makes music when you beat it. What a delightful creature. I will enjoy ending its existence. I will guide us to the heart of the vessel. Stay within my protective barrier as I cleanse the fell taint from the pathway.
Yes, Oros is down there. You missed it, but it says it emits a bitter melody. Because remember, most Naru don't speak, well, English, for lack of a better way to put that. You know, they don't speak in the ways we do, might be a more accurate way to phrase it. Yeah, Oros is actually really cool.
We have
There's
made
Oros.
it in time. By the grace and glory of the light, I will heal Oros. Then we will deal with Rakish. You have lost Rakish. Oros is renewed. And now you must answer for the atrocities you have committed. Ah, the fated heroes have arrived. It would appear that you have bested me, Velen. But before I surrender and face the judgment of the light, there is one last thing I must do.
Never let a demon false surrender. So he summons a Garothi. If you're paying attention, that is only the second Garothi we've seen so far.
Can you know victory without first knowing defeat? Come, fail, die!
And the Garothi obliterated Oros. Oros is gone. So the two allies you get for this depend on your order hall. But again, canonically speaking, this is all of the characters, all 13 of us or whatever, all fighting this Garothi at the same time. Which makes sense. It's a Garothi. I hate to keep emphasizing that, but unlike the Star Destroyer things earlier, there's not a lot of these. These things are a big deal every time they show up. Let's go ahead and aggro him here.
In my master's house smolder the burning husks of 1,000 worlds. I am here now to prepare a place for you amidst the ruin of tomorrow.
And for those of you who aren't keeping up, and no judgment, Garothi are they're named after their creator, which is, I can't even remember his freaking name. Give me a second. Kingaroth, that's his name. Anyways, Garothi are very, very high-tier demonic mech armors, for lack of a better put it. They're an escalation of the Fel Reavers, which we saw all the way back in BC. By all accounts, they're new tech, too. Like, in lore. So I'm just going to let them handle this. It's easy to overlay this cutscene. I'm not time walking right now. That's the problem. So this isn't a negative to the game. I just forgot to time walk before I came in here. I'm just going to let them do this.
You think you've won? You will know the taste of defeat, even if it means my own death. From the mouth of Argus comes your doom. For soon the Annihilator will have its fill, and detonate with the force of a collapsing star. Nothing but ash will be left where we stand! This is all wrong. I have been here. It will be your faces that I see in my last waking moments. A final agonizing memory before I am turned to ash and cast into oblivion. I welcome it. If you will not spare him, then I must! I did. And until this moment, I did not understand. In the time that is now just the whisper of a memory, I had a son. On the day of his birth, a vision came to me. In that vision, I saw myself weeping as I held a dying Exodar in my arms. his skin fell-pocked and battle-scarred, like yours. But I buried that vision after Kil'jaeden took my family from me, and for eons let it be lost in the darkest recesses of my being. Now, finally, as I hold you in my arms, I understand. There is nothing left here for you, champion. Take Light's heart and return to Khadgar. Tell him that the Light died here this day.
We were asking earlier about good fathers in this game. Velen never really got a chance to be one. And if you start to Hearth, come on, I just did this. I even did a tech test of this. Oh, I have to use the beacon. There we go.
We came as soon as we were able. Thank the light that you are safe, Prophet.
I am neither prophet nor pawn. Not any longer. Did Romul survive?
Grand Artificer Romul yet lives, sir.
Good. Find Romul. Tell him to begin repairs on the vessel. We are going home.
And that's domino number 3. We saw the brief tidbit of this back in Warlords. Velen is usually quite passive, even in the greater lore of the setting. But every now and again, he recognizes that stuff has to be done, and he doesn't hesitate at all when he actually has to do it. And did you notice that quiet fury in his voice? Yeah, exactly, Loke. When he needs to, he puts his foot down. So, on the off chance you didn't catch all that, because the cutscene did bug out a little bit, and that's my fault, and I apologize for that. Rakeesh grabs the Garothi and then uses it to destroy Oros. With the destruction of Oros, well, that's our big hope. That's our Hail Mary failed. So that sucks. Then we go to fight Rakeesh. He is insistent that we meet failure. We have to know failure. So he actually willingly, essentially commits suicide to kill us. But as we're fighting him, Velen very suddenly remembers something from literally millennia ago. And in his confusion and uncertainty, starts attacking us. But we can't. We can't stop destroying the Garothi. It's about to detonate and suicide on our faces. So we destroy the Garothi, which it's kind of hard to tell from the effect, but the idea is it turns part of Rakeesh's body to ash. In the doing, Velen then kneels by him and says, "You asked me if I had ever seen... you asked if I foresaw this day." And he reveals that when his son, Rakeesh, was born, he actually had a vision of this exact moment. So yeah, Velen is now pushed, and this is why it had to be the Exodar. It had to be the Exodar to destroy Oros, to lock us away from the Light's heart, and it had to be the Exodar so that Rakeesh, Velen's son, could be forced to kill him, or Velen would be forced to kill his son. One of the two. Either way, Kil'jaeden's plan is successful. You're probably thinking, hold up, why is Kil'jaeden being this much of a dick? Actually, you're probably not thinking that, because you're probably assuming Kil'jaeden's just evil. But actually, no. Kil'jaeden has always taken it as a personal insult that Velen didn't join the Legion. There's some complexity to that we'll actually cover later, but it's a little bit more nuanced than you think. Either way, Kil'jaeden really has a very personal grudge against Velen himself. And he's very petty about it. Much of what he's done over the years, even in service of the Legion, has been specifically to hurt Velen. You also notice he almost never goes after Velen personally. Like, by all accounts, Kil'jaeden probably knew Velen was going to survive this. Which he did. Go figure. Great moment. Great plot beat. Hi, Omniarch. Several pluses to story, multiple pluses to gameplay.
Let's get to work.
Kil'jaeden took the child from Velen, let Velen believe the boy had been killed, then raised the child as an agent of the Legion with the express purpose of murdering his own father. Yeah. Just in case you missed all that, there's the run-through.
It is a world of wonder.
You did not ask for this burden, but is what fate has deemed. Cerullian's last words still echo in my mind. I worry about the fate of the Draenei, about the fate of my friend Velen, but we must remain vigilant, never rip. For now, Light's Heart remains under your watchful eye, and there's only one place I would trust the safekeeping of such an object. Your Order Hall.
Remain vigilant. You are always appreciated.
The Battle of the Exodar, Mr. Floyd. And yeah, tell me about it on a long morning. Various not feeling wells and sickness kept me asleep way late. Nice. Grats, Omniarch. Or is it Omniarch? Or Omniarch? Look, I'm terrible at pronunciating. By the way, thank you for being part of the show, Savacom. I did see that. It's just, you donated in the middle of an extremely important cutscene. It was Omniarch. I was right to begin with. Last one of these.
You do not fight alone.
Lord Illidan knows the
and we'll
way.
send out
We are
Asher.
all that stands between the Legion and annihilation.
We'll go ahead and leave Zira's core here. Like you do.
Champion, I've been looking everywhere for you. Oh, the head in the crystal ball? I'm trying something new. We will find a way through this.
Yeah, sure. We'll go ahead and do this quest. I may have found a key to unlock Light's Heart. I was going through some ancient cosmology tomes, and I stumbled upon a passage indicating that the Prime Naro may have been created by a loon. If a loon did create Zero, then it stands to reason we could use the Tears of the Loon to unlock it. It's a long shot. We've got nothing left to lose.
Come back in one piece.
I wouldn't say just supercomputers, but I would be shocked if they were. Especially since the Naro are very light-oriented. In other words, so light-oriented that it could be argued that they're not, well, fully sentient, to put it simply. By the way, if you haven't done Val-Shara, at this point, this quest then says, oh, you need to go get the Tears of Elune. Go do the Val-Shara quests. The Naru are concentrated light, which, interestingly enough, also makes them concentrated void. Past that, actually, to this day, we're not 100% sure.
You've arrived just in time. Be mindful of your duty.
If this works, perhaps there's hope for Turellian and the Army of the Light.
Good to have you.
The Tears are ready for you. I am uncertain what to do here. Take the relic back to your Order Hall. Try to use it on Light's Heart. Maybe make them touch? Honestly, your guess is as good as mine.
It is a world of wonder.
Who knows, Mr. Floyd Pinkerton? Keep in mind, most of the Naro lore was written before the constructed afterlives even existed. So who knows? We will very, very briefly see some Naro lore in Shadowlands, the expansion. I love the stars as you're roaming through this Order Hall. Vision! Hi, Zira.
Do not be alarmed, mortal. Your consciousness has been projected to my astral presence in the great dark beyond. I am Zira, one of the first Naru to be forged here during the great ordering of the cosmos. You have come to the crucible of all creation in search of answers. Listen then, and find enlightenment. In a time now long past, a great battle was fought that would determine the fate of all worlds. It was in that final battle that the all-powerful Titan Pantheon fell to one of their own, Sargeras. After the fall, none were left to oppose the will of Sargeras. Unfettered, the Dark Titan and his burning legion would go on to annihilate countless worlds in their burning crusade. From the ashes of those ravaged worlds, survivors arose to stand against the demons. They became known as the Army of the Light. But now, the Golden Army teeters upon the precipice of oblivion, as their campaign on Argus nears its terminus. Should they fall, the Legion will initiate a new burning crusade, and with it the cosmos will tremble. I am here now on a mission of desperation. I seek the child of light and shadow, the boy destined to end the age of demons. The one called Illidan Stormrage.
Oh, look who's come back from the dead. Lady, you've been unconscious for 3 days. I'm sure Cag will be relieved his special pal's awake. Me, on the other hand? Yep, I'm still a damned sea lion. So I'm actually with Takoida, but the whole point of this is to put some of the story from the Illidan book into the game, and I'm kind of in favor of that. But I'll talk more about this later. Let's just put it at that.
You live. Your champions came to me after they failed to rouse you at your order hall. We brought you here and put you in the infirmary. What happened? We will defend Azeroth together.
So, we've been talking about the fact that the Titans are dead since Pandaria. Because Pandaria is when they actually first showed that in the game, but they did it really vaguely. I've talked about this before. Pandaria was when they first sat down and kind of mapped out the story. So they, the writers, knew that the Titans were dead as of Pandaria. But they didn't want to give all that away immediately, so in the game there were just a few hints of that. But that's also about when the first Chronicles book came out. The first Chronicles book was a huge info dump for a huge amount of exposition. Problem was, most of that exposition was not in the game. If you've been paying attention, piecemeal over the years, and since Pandaria in expansions and quests and side content, they've been slowly trying to get more and more of the Chronicles info on camera. In other words, even though to us the fact that the Titans are dead is old hat, this is actually the first time characters in universe know that who are not named Ra or Lei Shen. Remember, they were the only ones who actually realized that their Titans died. So, Khadgar ponders this news for a minute. It explains so much, yet I cannot help feel an overwhelming sense of sadness. We have been on our own all along. Our gods were killed before we were born. I love that line. Can I just gush about that line for a second? We have been on our own all along. Our gods killed before we were born. Jesus Christ. Ever since Wrath, people have venerated the Titans as their gods, as like the good people who help the universe and all that fun stuff. And in universe, I mean, in the characters do. And no, they've been gone since so long ago. It was actually just around the ordering of Azeroth, which Speaking of which, Aurelia asked, or no, sorry, Mr. Floyd asked, what's the ordering of the cosmos? That's what the Titans do. They show up and they go organize, 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 organize. Okay. And then they go to the next place, organize, 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 organize. As for the army of light and Illidan, I'm at a loss. I've never felt so powerless. Illidan is dead, and the Golden Army fights an endless war in our name across the cosmos. I need a moment. This is too much bad news for an old man to bear.
Take care, my friend.
No, Mr. Floyd. Not at all.
The pain will subside, champion. You now carry my mark.
Yeah, we're literally curling over in pain.
See and feel as you do. Return to me when you are able. We have much to do.
Also, it's a wonderful little tidbit that Zira just talking to us causes us tremendous pain. So what you're saying is you believe everything Zira says, Mr. Floyd. Interesting. Oh yeah, by the way, did you catch that? This is the low point in the story. We have just lost. We lost the battle for the Exodar. Oh, sure, we saved a bunch of people and kept and actually, you know, beat back the Legion, but we lost Oros. We lost access to the Light's Heart, and Velen lost his son. We get out here, and the first thing we find out is that the big grand quest, which is supposed to be our Hail Mary, failed before we even had a chance to start. Oh, by the way, your Titans are dead and have been for millennia. Light's Heart is to serve as the vessel for Illidan Stormrage's rebirth. My last act of service to the Light, but Illidan is dead and his soul lost. Before we may attempt to cover his soul, we must prepare the vessel for his return. Across two worlds exist echoes of Illidan's past. Start where all life begins, birth. From Illidan's birthplace in Val-Shara, awaken the memory. Yeah, by the way, that is 2 Hail Marys we've attempted so far to defeat the Legion. We're still in the middle of attempting our 3rd, which is the 4 Pillars. We'll get back to that soon, don't worry. We're doing some MSQ stuff here. I apologize for focusing on central plot. Slight sarcasm. We'll talk more about Zira later, Mr. Floyd, if you'll forgive me for not discussing it right now. I know we tend to talk about things out of order, but if you'll forgive me, for the rest of Legion, I'd really like to do things in order. Let's not confuse the subject, shall we? There's a lot of plot going on. We still have another zone to do. Actually, we have 4. But yes, Aurelia is correct. The Titans like to organize the free will out of things. Another little tidbit of lore that not everyone tends to catch, which I'm just repeating for the sake of anybody who hasn't been following the whole time, is the Titans are not good. They are orderly. They can be good. They have certainly been on our side many times. But they're not good. They are organized. Free will is considered a defect in their minions. That's not a joke.
An ancient memory stirs. When you are prepared, call to me, and together we will uncover a piece of Illidan's past.
So, once again, notice we're reeling in pain just from Zira talking to us. Again, keep that in mind.
Praise to the goddess. She has blessed us this night with new life. The birth of not 1, but 2 healthy males.
2?
The Stormrage twins.
Beautiful, nearly identical, except for...
That one, his eyes are golden.
Indeed. The child is destined for a great and prosperous future. His name is Illidan.
Illidan's was a life full of potential. His destiny forged in the great ordering and cast to the cosmic winds, where at last it would find a home on Azeroth. Within the tiny vessel, the great cycle began anew.
I don't want to give away too much, but I want you to imagine for a moment that you are born with something that marks you as having a great and grand destiny. And everyone knows it, and everyone informs you of it constantly. What do you think that does to you as a person? As a child? Keeping in mind, some people are like, oh, you're so amazing, and oh, I can't wait to see what great things you do. And other people are going to despise you for it, like your twin brother. Also, an interesting little lore bit. I've always loved this. Illidan and Malfurion are actually identical twins. You wouldn't know it if you looked at them side by side, but the reason why is because one merged his soul with a demon, and the other became so much a part of nature he started growing feathers. And it's actually fascinating to me that both of them literally diverge from each other physically, as in look different from each other, in order to kind of establish their own identities, because otherwise they are completely identical. It's just funny to me. And yeah, for those of you who just went through Dawntrail, Zoral Jaja. Or maybe, no. Zoral Ja, and also Bakul Jaja. I forgot. There's actually two of that in Dawntrail. Oh, that sounds good, Aurelia. So yeah, Illidan was screwed over from word go. Literally from birth. Ah! Now let's be clear. Illidan's still a villain. He is a villainous person, and anyone saying otherwise is mistaken. But you see how they're doing the same thing they did with Gul'dan, right? You can make a villain sympathetic without making them less of a villain. An auspicious start to a life of tragedy. Perhaps one of the few joyous memories Illidan would have in his life. Well, the years that followed tested the prophesized child. They would never break him. You must remember that despite what you see as your journey continues. Much of Illidan's formative years were spent in Val'shra alongside his twin brother Malfurion. As the young Night Elves vied for the affection of the young priestess Tyrande, they underwent the trials of the demigod Cenarius. I wish I could travel these a little bit faster, but, you know. Can we define how he's a villain? Sure. He's an egotistical narcissist who demands sacrifice of others so that he can get the glory of saving the day for himself. Constantly, by the way. That is a persistent attitude he has. Going back to the theme of Warcraft, Illidan believes in the central power, the pillar of the One. He has killed many, many, many innocent people that he did not have to put that into simple terms. I don't want to skip too much ahead, but the quest after this one is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. He is also extremely ends justify the means. Now, he has reason to be. See, that's the thing. That's what I love so much about Illidan as a character. Calling him evil is something that's a little bit harder to do. Because evil usually implies selfish, or greedy, or malevolent. And Illidan is none of those things. He is self-focused. He's an egotistical jackass. And he is very, very much about, you know, I don't care about you or what has to happen to you so long as I get the glory for fixing things. But he is definitely villainous. No, exactly, Maskerman. That is very relevant. I mean, at this point, BC has been so retconned, I'm not sure how much of it even exists in canon. But anyways. Ugh, neck. Yeah, Illidan also is...
Memory stirs. When you are prepared, call to me, and together we will uncover a piece of Illidan's past.
I like Kira White Noise's way to put that. Given the choice between what is easy and what is right, Illidan will always pick what's easy. Earlier we saw the Khadgar vignette. Do you remember that? When he was offered a book of tremendous power by a Dreadlord posing as Medivh. Do you remember that? We even talked about it back then. Illidan would say, okay, and immediately and without hesitation grab the power. He may even succeed at not actually falling for whatever trap that actually was. But that's the difference. That's the difference in mentality. It wouldn't even occur to him to turn that down.
Illidan, your anger is misplaced. I have not insulted you.
You have cast me out, Cenarius.
No, you may remain here, but I will no longer be your teacher. If you wish to continue studying the wilds, you may do so with your brother.
So I must learn from a novice instead of a master?
You must learn respect. Malfurion will become the first druid, because he is a dedicated student. You are not. To walk this path requires sacrifice, Illidan. Something you have yet to understand.
Brother.
So. Illidan was a... Damn it.
Failure and rejection.
Zira, come on.
Most would have given up, but Illidan would continue on, guided by the unseen hand of fate. His destiny lay elsewhere.
Seriously, Aurelia. I knew it, Spartan. You just want to kill innocents. No, yeah, remember the fate line. It is actually going to be relevant, I swear. So yeah, you notice how he was originally studying to be a druid. Of course he was. He's a night elf. That's what they do. But he couldn't take that because, well, easy or right. Druidism also, this actually makes perfect sense if you think about it, if you zoom the camera out for a second. Druidism, by its nature, requires supplementing your will to that of nature. That is the trick. That's the cost of being a druid. Malfurion is pretty much at the whims of nature, and he has suffered for that many times over the years, going as far back as Warcraft 3. Illidan probably wasn't even willing to reduce his ego to that level. And yeah, I must learn from a novice? Right there. Now, again, understandable. Very understandable. But you can see once again how even though it's relatable, it doesn't make him any more right. Failure and rejection. From that day, Illidan will be haunted by both. Ever undaunted, he would continue the search for his destiny. Another path would be found. Years later, the War of the Ancients raged on as the Burning Legion's grip on this world took hold. Illidan would meet a military leader known as Kurtulos Ravencrest. We just talked about him yesterday. He too would see potential in Illidan and promote him to captain of the Moon Guard, a powerful group of Night Elf sorcerers. So, keep sending me to frickin' Val'Sharah. God, could you quit that? So, in-game, how do you know what the will of nature is? It's actually pretty easy to understand. So, let's use two examples, Savacom. Let's say you want to do something and the power you wield doesn't work. Under those circumstances, you can pretty clearly see that your patron, in this case, nature, is just saying no. This actually happened several times. The second is more obvious. Several times you feel your own... It's not mind control, but you can feel yourself drifting into thinking in certain ways. You know what I mean? You just find yourself inclined towards certain ideas or concepts. And again, That has also happened to Malfurion in universe several times. I believe before Aurelia. Don't quote me, though. So, does Illidan's romantic feelings for Tyrande positive romantic love or selfish love? I don't know, but I will say this. There is a cutscene that happens after Legion. It's like the final cutscene of Legion. Based on that alone, I think Illidan legitimately cared about Tyrande, but probably not originally. I think there was legitimate love in there eventually. It is also worth noting that 2 times Illidan has tried to reach out to his brother peacefully. Once in Frozen Throne, and once in this very expansion. Malfurion never reaches back. Whoops. Okay, I didn't mean to enter the PvP area. Whoops. Hang on. Yep, get off my bar. Thanks. Oh god, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? Oh yeah, he was in the lust phase for plenty of time there. Yeah, Malfurion's always... How do I get out of here? Malfurion's always had a sore spot for his brother. But as just pointed out, Illidan is very unnatural. Malfurion is a druid.
Ishnu Allah, goddess, watch over you.
Enough said, really. Ode is an interesting word. I don't think... So, what's fascinating is if you zoom the camera out, Tyrande is much more like Illidan than she is like Malfurion. Now, whether that makes them a better or worse couple, that's unrelated.
Our people look to us for aid. Make these foul creatures regret the day they invaded our world.
An ancient memory stirs. When you are prepared, call to me, and together we will uncover a piece of Illidan's past.
Okay, I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to just live with the gear I have, but god, Legion leather just looks like crap. So we're just gonna do this.
Farewell, friend of the Grammels.
Okay. So, who's ready for some pluses?
Rooksgar! Send these devils back to their dark masters! For Azshara! For Kalimdor!
Sire, the Legion's disruption of our long-range teleportation network has made travel challenging.
Better late than never, eh, lad? Those of us that still draw breath fight on. Are you
Sire, behind you! Another Felmaw has opened. Moonguard, focus your energies into me. We shall show these monsters the power of the arcane.
What manner of fellspawn have these devils set upon us? Mother Moon, help us all!
Real, Mr. Floyd.
We require rest, Master.
Well done, Illidan. But the battle has only begun. The Legion has slain half of our forces and scattered the rest across the grounds. What you see here is all that remains of the Rooksguard protecting the hold. To make matters worse, that monstrosity in the arena will burn the hold from the inside out if it is not stopped. Take your Moonguard and rid Black Rook hold of this demonic invasion. You are our last hope, Illidan.
Thanks.
Do what you must.
Ravencrest.
Should Black Rook hold fall, all of Suramar will fall with it.
I will not fail you, my lord.
Okay, so hang on. We actually have a lot to unpack.
Our energy to conjure that protective barrier. If I push these Moonguard any harder, they will die.
If I can repair that deactivated portal, I will have the reinforcements I require, and a font of power to refresh my energy.
Last I checked, Illidan is still in love with Veranda. To some extent or another. Alright, so, hang on. We have a lot to unpack right there, okay? So first and foremost, Illidan shows up. It took him a moment to get here, along with his personal guard, which is the Moon Guard. Notice these are all mages. Important. Ravencrest is like, alright, we got this. We've got to fight together. But then a Legion portal opens up. Illidan, automatically and without hesitation, calls for them to summon their portal into him so he can focus that on the portal. Notice how Illidan that is. He could have just said, everyone, focus your energy on the portal. But no, he wanted them to focus it into him so that he could close the portal. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's wrong. I'm just pointing out how it's Illidan. Make sense? Now, immediately after this, Ravencrest says something, and I need you to remember this. Do what you must. Should Blackrook Hold fail, all of Suramar will fall with it. You are our last hope, Illidan. To which Illidan then immediately says, I will not fail you, my lord. And credit to, oh god, I can't think of the actor's name all of a sudden. Liam O'Brien. He nails that line, right? So, Illidan immediately recognizes that if he pushes these mages, he will actually kill them. So, we're going to summon some ads. Debatable, J. Palmer. And that's the simple answer to that.
Excellent. The power radiating from the portal will energize me, so long as I remain nearby. I must remember to return to these portals whenever I am fatigued.
Tutorial. Also notice we run at epic mount speed.
Captain. At your command, Captain.
Okay, so we got a new guard.
I am ready, Lord Ravencrest. Lower the portcullis.
And yeah, Illidan is a very powerful mage. Always has been, ironically.
Glaive throwers at the ready!
Run, little Ravencrest, run! There may still be time for you to flee and live out your final miserable days cowering in a tree somewhere. What's this? Ravencrest has sent a pup to face me? I will teach you to respect your betters, child.
Notice all we have is white damage at the moment.
To defy the Burning Legion? Kneel before the unmatched power of Fel!
The Fel magic is too strong. I could try and siphon energy from my Moon God and use it to unleash devastation upon this demon. But my mages will die too. Alas, what choice exists? If I fail, Suramar falls tomorrow, and with it my beloved Taronda. I must act now.
So he does. New ability, Arcane Siphon. Heal and siphon mana per targeted ally every 0.3 seconds. So he kills his own soldiers.
You killed?
Master. I am dying.
And now we can do things like that.
You were right, demon. Fel is more powerful than the arcane, but you wield it clumsily. Let me show you what destruction...
The pup has fangs.
Captain Stormrage has given us a fighting chance! Secure the rampart, Rooksguard! Advance!
Yeah, the Eredar is like, what? You just... what? Now, what's really fascinating about that interaction right there is the presumption. I've talked about this 3 or 4 times, and I discussed it extensively in the Lorecraft and the Lore Run. Illidan presumed the lives of his troops. What I mean by that is, it never even occurred to him to ask. Let me rephrase this scene for just a second. Let's say Illidan is like, my mages! I need your energies to help me break free of this hold. And then they say, you got it, sir, and they choose Because they would, wouldn't they? Probably without hesitation. They are loyal to him, they understand the stakes, and they understand what they signed up for. So, done. They sign up, they kneel down, and they give him their lives. But Illidan doesn't even ask. He presumes. So he rips it out of them. This is part of why I say Illidan is villainous.
It appears as if the demon armies are coming from the portal in the courtyard below. I'll need to destroy it if we're to survive, but I'll need help from my moon guard.
Oh yeah, they'd totally do it, Kira White Noise.
At your command, Captain.
Possible, J. Palmer. Again, what's interesting about all of this is this has nothing to do with whether Illidan is right or not. That's off the table and doesn't matter, honestly. This has the whole point of all of this is to emphasize the character of Illidan Stormrage. That's one of the reasons he's such a fascinating character for me, is he arguably makes correct choices all the time.
For each demon I kill, 2 more take its place.
It's all the realm of math, not morality.
I am nearly out of energy. I need to find a portal to rest at.
God, I was way too slow on that.
Let's not...
My carelessness forces me to fall back. I will learn from this defeat and strike back with a vengeance.
I'm actually not as familiar as I could be to make such a comparison, Aurelian. Super utilitarian. He's leaning that way, Evo. Combine utilitarian with a bit of a hero complex. Now, once again, I don't completely blame him for having a hero complex. He was 100% raised that way. Born being told constantly he's this destined child, while also being showed up by his twin brother.
When I kill, 2 more take its place. I am nearly out of energy. I need to find a portal to rest at. Siphon the essence of my moon guard.
Damn. So, born into destiny, constantly raised in a terrible circumstance, and having to deal with his twin brother, who is lesser than him, constantly upstaging him. But, as the saying goes, his choices are still his own.
If only there were another way. But I must have power if we are to survive.
Never helped you sleep at night, buddy. Oh yeah, by the way, gameplay-wise, this actually rewards you for doing that more. Gives you new abilities when you do it. I've actually failed this scenario several times. Well, failed. Had issues with it several times. Ugh. As I'm about to do again here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. No! No! God damn it! Ah!
Let's not do that again.
No, absolutely, Uthor. You don't. What's funny is you rag on Illidan, and you can, but he's getting so many pluses. Who's getting all the pluses, Illidan? It's you. One of the things I actually like about this fight is that it is actually pretty mean. Did I see your question? So I'm assuming you're talking about the question I immediately answered milliseconds after you asked it. Oh, the multi-class thing. Okay.
I am Illidan.
Sure. I have no idea. Hang on, hang on.
Know my name, or it spells your doom. I am nearly out of energy. I need to find.
I know. Thank you, game.
Siphon the.
We're gonna try to slow-mo this a little bit so I don't fail a third time. I actually like how mean this is, funnily enough. It is possible to bullcrap it. I've done it before. Hang on. Could you just repeat it so I don't have to scroll up? I mean, he is correct, Uthor. That's the problem, isn't it?
Easily. I am nearly out of energy. I need to find a portal to rest at. Siphon the essence.
Sorry, Evo. I'm kind of killing an endless horde of demons right now. Oh, I guarantee you, if Illidan was told, Illidan, we found the true way to success, but it's going to involve you sitting back and nobody ever even remembering your name. Everyone will erase your name from history and memory forever. He'd be like, what? No! Okay, if Illidan is a mage and a demon hunter, which he is, it means he's multi-class. And getting the gameplay's not allowed, but in lore, what stops people from multi-classing? So actually, that is a good question. God, I'm barely making progress. Hang on a sec. This is actually taking a decent amount of concentration. I have to do this without spells, because spells kill my people, and if I kill my people, I'm going to lose my DPS. Ooh, you're not annoying. It's just this is a tide of legions.
There is no end to them.
Or a tide of demons, legions. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so the thing that prevents you from I've actually answered this question before, so I already have
I need to find a portal to rest at.
I already have a pre-baked answer for you. The reason he is not multi-classing, the reason most people don't multi-class in lore, is the same reason you are not an NBA star player while also being a brain surgeon.
There is no end to them.
But I'm not going to argue with Uthor. I'm sorry, Uthor. I've actually re-examined this whole sequence of events several times. This is great stuff. Wiku. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Refill. And we need to get over here.
At your command, Captain.
Please activate. Please activate. Oh my god, I hate everything. Could you quit so I can activate this stupid portal, please? There we go. Jesus. Okay, progress made.
Too many demons. I'll need more of my Moon Guard's power. Do I go too far? No. I must remain focused. The future of my people lies in my hands.
A cocaine addict being right about doing cocaine to save the world. I'm not sure if that quite fits, but I do like the comparison point there. This is pre-sundering. This is actually pretty close to the sundering. Come on, group up, group up, group up. Over here.
At your command, Captain.
I've actually theorized a few times that people in the writer's room disagree. Like, with each other, you know? You remember how every now and again, we actually talked about this just a few days ago.
Demon I kill, two more take its place.
Hang on. Hang on. Okay, made it.
I am nearly out of energy. I need to find a portal.
Every now and again, we've talked about how a game or a show or a book or a movie will clearly show X, but then the characters act as if it's Y.
The Nihilum portal is being protected by an Eridar known as Baladur. Conventional spells are useless against it. I'll have to call down the fury of the cosmos to destroy the portal. Then it will be just me and the demon.
So, no, it's just... God damn it, Evo. I swear to God, if you apologize one more time, I will turn this stream right over, young lady. I've lost my train of thought. You know how they'll show you X and then tell you Y? Because almost every time you can pretty much feel that the writers are either disagreeing with each other or not coordinating with each other. I think that was going on with Illidan, because I actually agree with you, Thor. the game makes it extremely clear that Illidan is wrong. Well, maybe wrong's the wrong word. That he's a villain. That he is a villainous person. I've already shown you several examples of that on camera over the last few minutes, including in this very instance. Okay. But yeah, he probably should have someone in universe call out his bullcrap more often.
Of the great burning shadow. Minions, kill the hero.
Like, for example, it keeps defaulting to Tyrande and Malfurion, and frankly, they're wrong. Just to put that as bluntly as I can. Also, if I might be so bold, we have a little bit of the Anakin Skywalker problem going on here. Now, hang on, hear me out. One of the things...
Find a way to close that gateway.
One of the things I liked about the Clone Wars is Anakin... Shut up, Illidan. Anakin would do something wrong, and then it would work. So he would be he would learn from that. He'd be like, oh, that's the correct choice. So then he would do something else wrong, and it would work. And so forth and so on. It's called a positive feedback loop because it reinforces itself. I prefer the term reinforcement loop, but you get the idea.
I am Illidan, demon. Know my name, for it spells you. I am nearly out of energy.
That's probably my fault for taking so long here. I apologize, Blade and all. There we go. Fury of the Cosmos. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and do that. There we go.
I am the mightiest mage hunter in all the cosmos. You stand no chance, little elf.
Hunt this. For each demon I kill, 2 more take its place.
Yeah, he just I-beamed Arcane. Wah wah.
I am nearly out of energy. I need to find a portal to rest at, or siphon the essence of my moon guard.
Illidan has taken the courtyard! Rook's Guard, advance!
Yeah, ironically, Sylvanas would be the perfect person to call out Illidan. Sadly, she has no real interaction with him.
We will join the battle in the arena! Captain Stormrage, lead the charge!
I have to jump into the arena to destroy that monstrosity. Mother Moon, give me strength.
It does take a villain to call out a villain. So...
Do something, Illidan! It's tearing us apart! The hold cannot take much more!
You hear that from Ravencrest?
Thrown everything I have at this creature to no avail. I must ask...
Illidan, no!
Sometimes this bugs out. There it is. The name of this spell is Collapse Star.
What have you done? You've killed them all, Illidan!
What would you have me do, Catullus? Simper and nod to our new Legion overlords as they turn our world to ash?
There is always a choice. We could have...
We could have what? You are blind, Ravencrest. You are all blind! This was one invasion. They nearly killed everyone here and took Suramar! The best any of you can do is criticize my methods. My mages died saving our world. What have you given? What have you sacrificed? You're a damned fool, Ravencrest! No matter. I've learned all I can from you. We will never defeat the Legion so long as cowards hold the reins. Farewell, and good luck. Perhaps you may fare better begging them for your lives next time.
Liam... Oh, not Liam. No, that's Liam O'Brien. Continues to be awesome.
Difficult decisions had to be made, but to understand Illidan's perspective is essential if we are to succeed in our mission. What would you have done differently?
Now, that line right there says so much. How many of you even noticed that? How many of you processed the fact that Zira was agreeing with Illidan? That is wonderfully subtle foreshadowing right there. Because when I first did this question, I loved it because, my perspective, what I was noticing was how wrong Illidan was, how Illidan was. And I loved it. And then Zero was like, yeah, he was totally right and awesome. And I'm like, hold up, what? Sorry, she doesn't say it that overtly, but like, you notice how she just comes across as quietly judgmental? As if you would understand the sacrifice. You must understand his perspective if we are to succeed. What would you have done differently? Listen to that. Hey, look, it's still there. It's still there. It's been days. Sorry. So, we know... we know that the Naru are not unified. It is entirely possible that Zira is the only one like that. But I'll tell you exactly why she's in love with Illidan. So, we like to use the term... Chosen One. But when we use the term Chosen One, what we usually refer to it as is like no individual person actually did the choosing. Like life chose you. Destiny chose you. Those don't exist, right? Generally speaking, it's actually a person who does the actual choosing of a Chosen One. Illidan is Zira's Chosen One. The line between good and evil is thin and resides in a place where intention means little. Illidan wondered how those around him could be so blind to the threat of the Legion. Fate is not without a sense of irony. Why him? Chance, actually. Most mortals cannot comprehend the truth of the Legion. Those that recognize it often refuse to accept its meaning. Such knowledge carries a weight that the mortal frame cannot bear. To sacrifice that much of oneself changes the soul. Among your greatest heroes, a rare few understood that type of sacrifice. I haven't seen it, so I don't know, Luke. Now, while we're going here, let's answer Evo's question. Why aren't people who live for 10,000 years multi-class? Because 10,000 years is and always has been stupid. Oh, you want an in-lore reason. Quantum. Okay, whew, got it out of the way. Oh, right. I'm Alliance. I've done that 3 times this run. Jesus. How the hell am I going to get to Kalimdor? Okay. Canonical multiclassers. Medan! Wait, he's not canon anymore. Are there any multiclassers other than every demon hunter? There's Zul. Yeah. Death Knights. Yeah, I'll give you Death Knights. Although, Death Knights are kind of different. Death Knights aren't multi-class. Death Knights abandoned a class to gain another class. That's not really multi-class. And Paladin is kind of the same way. You're not really a priest anymore. Or miraculously, you were always a priest. Might be a better way to phrase it. Sylvanas? No, I'm not going to agree with that one. Kel'Thuzad. That presumes Necromancer is different from Frost Mage, which I'm not sure I agree with. But then again, we actually have really little info on Necromancy as a class, which is weird. Like, he's still a mage. He never stopped being a mage. Even in Shadowlands, he's a mage. Dragons? Do dragons have classes?
An ancient memory stirs. When you are prepared, call to me, and together we will uncover a piece of Illidan's past.
I guess my distinction, and forgive me for getting banal about definitions, is that when I think multi-class, I think a hunter who is a mage. Sylvanas is unique. She is Sylvanas. She's a Dark Ranger. Like, a hunter turned into a Dark Ranger is the same as a warrior turned into a Death Knight. You're not really a warrior anymore, right? Just like Sylvanas isn't actually a hunter anymore. Hell, even Illidan doesn't actually qualify that much. He is primarily a demon hunter.
The Legion's power. No matter how hard this world fights, it will fall.
I like Sargeras' later voice better.
Arise, deceive us. The army that marches on Azeroth is but a whisper of the Legion's true strength. Beyond this army is another, and another, and another. Even if we defeat them here, it will mean nothing. We are doomed. Unless we find another way to fight them. And I will find that way.
With his eyes burned out for seeing the truth, Illidan still did not falter. Even under the gaze of the Lord of the Burning Legion, Illidan remained resolute and defiant.
May your feet find good...
She really likes licking his boots, doesn't she? Anyhow, once again, the focus is on him. Yeah, she's hyping up her chosen one. Hey, that sounds familiar. She has chosen her destined hero who is going to save the world. Or galaxy, whatever. Sorry, what was the question, J. Palmer? I still have to answer Evo's question. Oh, I guess I kind of did answer Evo's question. Because the problem is, the answer to Evo's question is, there's nothing really preventing people who live long enough to multi-class. And that is the answer. Nothing in lore prevents that. It's the same reason why there's no reason a Night Elf can't roll a Paladin, right? We have Night Elf priests. There's nothing preventing them from becoming the Sentinel class, right? They just don't because, yeah. Can Mechanomes be druids? There's nothing preventing that. Illidan sought out the truth and was blinded by what he saw. He was beginning to understand his destiny, but there was one final sacrifice he had yet to make. Hardly recognizable from the golden-eyed child of prophecy and living as an outcast on the fringes of a shattered world, his motivation remained unchanged. His assaults on the Legion and his attempts to end their march were his only focus, yet in a strange twist of fate, it was not the Burning Legion who came for him in the end. Now we gotta make a trip. But that scene is so good, Uthor. How could you change the best scene of the game? Alright, don't tell me right now. I don't want to spoil it. Sure, Czar. I didn't even see it. I'm sorry. So Jay Palmer asks something. How long time-wise between these scenarios? So I believe the first quest opened up at like 62. There might have been a quest requirement of actually doing one of the I'm Alliance, of doing one, almost did a fourth time, doing one of the zones first, and after that, oh, in lore, 3 seconds. I have no idea, dude. Like, a couple years ago, they retconned the entire timeline. I know nothing anymore. 5 minutes, 38 seconds, and 6 planks. Yeah, they actually did. That's not a joke. That was news to me. I just found that out like a week ago. Lore, you're going the wrong way. In all fairness, I've glanced through the new timeline, and it actually does make a bit more sense for the most part. There's some asterisks. Like, there's some serious asterisks, but... Well, the old rule was actually pretty simple. Every expansion took course over about a year. And then there was usually a period of time between an expansion and the next one. There it is, Jesus. What that meant was that events kind of proceeded immediately into the next one. So, like, Pandaria happened immediately after Kata, which made sense. And then Warlords happened in an alternate timeline, which made sense. So Legion functionally happened immediately after, with, you know, Pandaria, which made sense. I know that's true anymore. Oh, in real life, all of this was out in the same patch, Jay Palmer. So it was all available immediately. So I'm going to go back to my original answer, which I was already answering, which is you'd hit level 60, or sorry, 102, and then you'd get the quest to go do the Battle of the Exodar. In Azeroth's history. I don't know what you're asking me anymore. What are you asking me? I'm so confused. Ah! Okay, let's look at Zara's question. Did Tyrande bust Illidan out of jail or prison because she needed a useful tool in the form of a person not get her hands dirty? I'm pretty sure Tyrande bust Illidan out of the prison because she's a Warhawk hothead who didn't even think about the consequences for 5 seconds. What's this book? Ah! Also, someone asked earlier if the Chronicles books have been retconned. Not that I'm aware of. We'll talk a little bit about that in Shadowlands, but by everything I've understood, the intended retcon to Chronicles has already been thrown out the window. How long in Azeroth? Oh, okay. I have no idea. Begrillions of years or a month. One of the two. I'm not sure. Like, Illidan was born. Eliminated. I didn't even get there in time. So yeah, Illidan was, like, born, and then he spent some years failing to become a druid, and then the Legion invaded, and then during the Legion's invasion, he got beamed in, so a very, very short period of time there. And then 10,000 years pass, and we get to the events of BC.
Ancient memory stirs. When you are prepared, call to me, and together we will uncover a piece of Illidan's past.
Yeah, sorry, Warhawk is someone who is pro-war to the point where it's stupid. But it's very, very simple. It is specifically something that was used to describe politicians back in the 1800s, I want to say, who would see war as the solution to any political problem they had. Yeah, I think you're right, Shiwa the Pandaren. Hey, remember this fight?
Your duplicity is hardly surprising. I should have slaughtered you and your malformed brethren long ago.
We've come to end your reign, Illidan. My people and all of Outland shall be free.
The guy jumping back and forth during the cutscene is perfect.
But I remain unconvinced.
The time has come.
He's still jumping. He's still jumping. He's got that stupid dagger. If the glaive drops, can I have it? Says the rogue. 4, 3, 2. I think Johnny's AFK. Incoming! You are not prepared.
I'll deal with these mongrels. Strike now, friends. Strike at the betrayer.
Is Johnny awesome? It's Johnny awesome! And he's AFK. They're all level 30, by the way. The correct level for this range. There's a Scarab Lord here. Spoogeldorf, Scarab Lord Hamlet, Oku, Guard, Muffin Mon. They're all in BC gear, too. I'm sorry, this is actually a really good moment. Like, obviously this is fun gameplay-wise, but no. This is great. Yeah, this is how it's like to play as a raid boss. Kind of. Where's their frickin' healers? Are you a healer? You look like a healer. Hang on, it's kind of hard to tell. There, no, there we go. There's our healer. Come here. Yeah, green DPS. Come on, let's go. Here's what it looks like if you turn off health bars, by the way. Oh, sorry. I killed her. I killed her! This was Titan. Raid Boss Central. That's actually an interesting premise for a game.
I will not be touched by a rabble such as you.
Phase 2.
Flames of Asenath.
So then we do beam damage. Bzz. Die, monsters. Die. Die. Come on, die. Why aren't you dying? Why are your healers so good? Oh, I don't know, J. Palmer. I haven't even thought about it. I like how they've got the positioning markers. Is Johnny still AFK back there? Die, Johnny! Stop being AFK during my boss fight! Gotta kill Johnny! Gotta kill Johnny! Yes! Johnny's dead. Okay. We killed Johnny Awesome.
Who shall be next to taste my blades?
So now, demon form. Merciless Gladiator Saifu. I don't think I can IB them yet. Got another healer. Hit the one in the dress!
Is this it, mortals? Is this all the fury you can muster?
Their fury pales before mine, Illidan. We have some unsettled business between us.
Maiev, how is it even possible?
Ah, my long hunt is finally over. Today, justice will be done.
Got to kill the shaman. Very important. Oh, I did. Yay! Die, monsters. Oh, oh, hang on. It's another healer. Kill the other healer. Hitting that 1%. Hitting that 1%. Ah, crap. There we go. Okay, kill the rogue who already has one of my glaives. How the hell do you already have one of my glaives? What do you mean? Those daggers drop off of me. What are you talking about? So they're clever about this because what they do is you take damage based on how many you kill.
It is finished. You are beaten.
She would drop the traps and you would drag them into them, which would vuln him and prevent him from doing something. I forget what. Yeah. Game. Oh god. Did I accidentally kill too many people? I might have accidentally killed too many people. Yeah, Mayhem gets credit, because she's the one still left alive. Ah, crap. Okay, we'll just sit here for a second, see what happens. Oh, there it goes.
Tyrondo. The world is only as meaningful to us as the beings that inhabit it. Even in the end, Illidan saw her as clearly as the first time he laid eyes on her. He never lost sight of his world. You must ask yourself, how far will you go for yours?
Maybe, J. Palmer. Maiev isn't a very good liar, so he could probably see through that. I have sacrificed everything, Oculus, to make this run happen. What have you sacrificed? $3! Oh, okay. Which is doubly funny because we're doing this on a Demon Hunter, Aurelia. But, yeah. Ironically, one of the only bits of runs that is completely lost to who funded it, thanks to that little screw up with the spreadsheet, is this one. So I actually have no idea who put how much to this, but whatever. Forgive me, noble soul. I misled you. Light's heart was not the vessel that required preparation. It was yours. You who sacrificed everything for your world and served your master dutifully until the end. These memories will strengthen your resolve. Look to them when the dark temptation surrounds you, and let them grant you strength to resist and rise against the corruptors. We will save Illidan, and once more you will battle at the side of your master for the fate of all worlds. By the way, very, very minor tidbit. And not that it's a big deal, but it is interesting that Zira flat out admits to being capable of lying to us for our own good. Just remember that. Alare the Soul Eater, an oracle of the Illidari, has been on the hunt for Illidan's soul for quite some time. She now believes she has discovered its location and requires your assistance in its recovery. Find Ilaria at the Illidari stand in Ajuna and aid her in any way possible. If Sargeras truly plans to use Illidan's body as a vessel for his own return, then returning Illidan's soul to his body is integral, preventing the Dark Titan from returning to our world. Up, hang on, while we're here. Yeah, we could presume accuracy of those memories, but it's entirely possible that they're, well, as Kira White Noise says, slanted.
Azeroth must not fall. Death to the Legion.
Blatant lies? I doubt it. Too much of it lines up with what we know of both the character and the actual events. Blatant lies only work in real life. Was it possible for her to do that? Yeah. Siphon, Filter, Dark Mirror, Odyssey, and Halo, SPV 33. Thank you as always, Jay Palmer. It said 33. I wrote down 33. I will now write down a 3 instead. Listen, the keyboard was lying to you, too. Actually, Garrosh might never have lied. I'd have to think about that. Oh, Legion, 100%. No question, Jay Palmer. Everything is actually the answer, Aurelia. I highly recommend watching the lore run, because I go in much more depth into it there. And also this very review series when we were covering BC. But if you want a one-sentence answer, nobody was talking to each other, and nobody had any idea what they were writing. So the writing in BC was really, really bad, and inconsistent at the same time.
Lord Illidan knows the way.
The Naru heard my call. Interesting. Very well, let's get to work. We found Illidan's soul. It's not where we expected it to be.
If we do not meet again, die well.
Alas, I will not burden you with the location of the Master's soul just yet. First, we must craft a soul prism. Go do 5 dungeons.
Do not give in to the power of the Legion.
Your Titan gods have abandoned you. Lay down your arms. There is no hope left.
Sorry, I'm debating. I was kind of hoping to smash through most of this stuff in one bundle. You notice we haven't even started Ajuna yet. Okay. Anyways, I hope that answers you, Aurelia. I know it's not a very satisfying answer, but that is the short answer. Even Cataclysm. So, okay. Every expansion literally all of them has been them paying more and more and more attention to the story, bit by bit. And Pandaria was the first time they sat down and planned stuff out in advance, to give you an idea of how far forward that was. Cataclysm was rife with good story, bad story, and everything in between because they weren't talking with each other at all. So that's Cata. Rewind to Wrath, and then rewind back to BC, and you start to see the issues. The quote I will never stop repeating, unless it's proven wrong someday, which I doubt it, is that several of the writers legitimately thought that Illidan was the leader of the Burning Legion. Which I think speaks for itself. Vanilla wasn't really intended to Alliance wasn't really intended to have a story in any real sense of the word. You know, truth be told, I have no idea what Metzen was doing in that era. Being on StarCraft 2, probably. I really don't know. No, come on, Laura. There we go. There we go. No, I know Metzen was around, and I know he was the head of narrative, as he has been for a long time, but what I don't know is what he did in BC. I'm not being facetious. I legitimately don't know what role he had in BC at all. I'm going to go ahead and do an early break for lunch, I think. So we'll be back after the lunch break.